Is it working? Basically, I'm going to be limited by my wire here because, yeah, I kind of did this live stream last minute, and I don't have much battery, and I don't have my laptop. So I figured I worked early today, so I'm here at night. I usually never work here at night. So I figured why not take 2 or 3 hours and see if I can get to the bottom of what happened to this. Regardless, this engine's coming out. I'm actually going to pick up the replacement tomorrow. But I figured the blower got to come off, the accessories, all this shit has to come off, so why don't we just kind of casually tear it down, pull the other valve cover. I'm hoping I can maybe get a head off, but I'm kind of tired. I'm only planning on staying like 3 hours. We'll see how far we get. But I guess the first thing here, I gotta do, I gotta drain the water. So I still have the water in the ice tank. It's getting cold out. I need to get that out of there. Plus, it's just gonna spill everywhere when I take the blower off. But I think I'm gonna try to move you guys over there. We'll get that valve cover off. Maybe there's something loose in there. Who the hell knows? And then we'll drain the water, and I'll see if we could get the blower and maybe get it off. Who knows? But hopefully, I got enough battery so I can keep you guys over here before the battery goes dead and I actually get the valve cover off. Let me put gloves on. I never put freaking gloves on. Most of the time I start a job, I have gloves on. They rip halfway through, I pull them off, and then my hands are like black anyway. I'm going to start repair. I don't know if I can. I never did this. Well, I never did this period. But mobile probably isn't the best way to start. I'm going to figure out if I can see. What's up? We are live, guys. This isn't a premiere. Fuel regulator. This is like I actually bought this by accident kind of on Amazon. I thought it was like a regular regulator, but apparently it's meant for an MSD like fuel injection kit or something. So I ended up having to get like a plug and rerouting it. But basically, I ran my own return line back to the tank. This was never here. And then for the actual regulating, I have the main line coming from the tank there. Then it comes over, and all I did was tee it off. So it goes into this T, and basically you have all the same pressure right here. That goes to the regulator, and then the regulator just bleeds off any excess, and that goes through this into the tank. So I don't have like individual feeds for each rail. I literally just use like this dash ANT here, and I just have the regulator come off of that, and then I just found a place to mount it. It's really pretty simple. And for the size, I'm still running a 3/8 for the feed, and I also have a 3/8 for the return, but I'm kind of wondering how long that's going to last me. I mean, I've been reading stuff online where people say you can get 700 wheel horsepower. Some people are saying more, some people say less out of a 3/8 feed line. I mean, it all depends on the pressure, but I'm going to run the, I'm going to leave the 3/8 until I have to go to like a dash 8 or something. All right, let's get this valve cover off. I have a feeling I'm going to go down a wormhole of spending money with this one because if the motor's coming out, I mean, you know, it would kind of be a good time to port the blower. It would be a good time to upgrade the cam. It'd be a good time to port the snout. It would be a good time to put on better heads or get ported heads. So I'm gonna have to try to like restrain myself with this one. Especially since you guys know my transmission is on. It's like its last friggin' leg. From tools. I'm just scrolling through your guys' messages because I can't. They just get buried so quickly because the phone is so small. All right, I'll try to. I'm just gonna work when I come over back to the camera. I'll just tell you guys what's going on. Basically, I'm just pulling the valve cover now. Once I get it off, I'll give you guys a close up. We'll see what's going on. I just gotta pull these coils off. These Holley valve covers, you gotta pull the coils to get access to the bolts. Oh, that's gone forever. Probably unplug them first. Get this catch can out of the way. Where the hell did that thing go? We're off to a great start. All right, I got it. I need a shorty. We're loose. I don't see anything too crazy. I mean, I gotta clean up and make room for these parts. I have nowhere to put anything. Light. Of course, that's dead. Let me get you guys off the... Get you in here. We'll look together. Nothing immediate. I mean, as soon as this happened, I thought right away it was like a broken rocker or something because it sounds so much like valve train. But like I said, it's coming from the other side. I mean, it sounds like it's coming from the other side. And I mean, if it's a lifter, you'll be able to move the rocker. Nah. Everything's fine over here. Same as the other side. I don't see no broken valve springs. Everything looks immaculate. No needle bearings floating around in there. All right. Looks like, well, you know what? Let me give you guys another look at the other side. So I don't know how many of you actually saw the video. I didn't really touch on it too much, but come on, focus. Same thing. Pretty much immaculate. I don't see anything weird. I thought about pulling the spark plugs, but honestly, it sounds bad. Like it's definitely either a wrist pin or something metal on metal in the motor. You could just hear it when it's running. I didn't really pay too much attention as to RPM. It definitely speeds up with RPM. But since it immediately happened, I turned the engine off. We drove it up the trailer. And then I literally just started it for you guys in my last video. I didn't actually go any farther than that. I wasn't sitting there with a stethoscope really trying to figure it out. But it sounds bad enough where your first thought is to just shut it off and never start it again. So I'm thinking either rod or wrist pin, but I mean, it sounds like it's coming from right over here, and everything, the valve cover looks good. Part out. I'll part it out and put a turbo on it. Are you keeping this live, available for others to watch? I'm going to try to. I'm just not sure how this works because I never did live before. I don't know if it's going to automatically save the video or what's going to happen. I know on a laptop, I think it does. I don't know how it works on a phone. I'm definitely changing the cam. My actual plan for this is to pull this out. I'm swapping the motor, and then this 5.3, depending on what the hell's wrong with it, there's not a hole in the side. Obviously, it's salvageable. I might throw Gen 4 rods, like a whole Gen 4 rotating assembly in it, and this is most likely going to be the motor that's going to go into the Trans Am. If not, and for some reason I decide not to do that, or the damage is just too bad and I just don't want anything to do with it, I'm going to pull the heads, assuming they're all right, and I'm going to pull the cam, and that's going to go in the Tahoe. So that's basically free parts to give the Tahoe a little more power. I'm probably going to need a converter, but the plan right now is swap this. This is going in the Trans Am. You have scratch on your lens? I don't think so. Might just be the glare. Oh, that's like a. Is that? That was like a. That's like a glare of the light or something. I see what you're talking about. All right. I guess we'll get this intake off. Like I said, I got to keep you guys over here because I have like no battery. And I don't have a cable long enough to leave the phone closer. meth nozzle. Alright, we're out. I have no room to put this stuff. Battery. That's stripped. Guess the belt is next. I gotta keep, and the accessory drive, and I'm gonna get the lid off, probably drain the water. I wanna get the blower off. Well, I have to get the blower first, obviously, before I can pull the heads off. Box wrench for this. So close though. Keep the side wheel on it. There we go. Blow them out. I thought about pulling the pan, but honestly, it's such a pain in the ass with the cross member. I have to put the support bar across it and lift the whole thing up. Honestly, even if I found something in there and I could just throw like a bearing or something in it, I'd rather just pull the whole engine and, you know, have it done right. I don't even know what the hell happened. I wasn't even on it that hard or that high with the two-step. I don't know. I think I might rather do the brake fluid service on the Sprinter, honestly. Yeah, I could pull the filter. If you're on a budget, definitely turbo without a doubt. Honestly, the only reason I went with this, well, at the time I didn't have the garage and I was doing this in the driveway, and this is more of a bolt-on deal because you don't have to custom make a bunch of crap. And this is the easiest way to keep AC. With a turbo setup, you'd have to like dump the pipe out the fender or do something crazy or somehow kind of tuck the exhaust. With a lowered car, well, with these cars lowered, if you're not running like a tubular cross member, there is like no room to get a decent sized pipe out from the front into the back of the car. Usually, well, the only spot really is when you don't have AC and there's no box over there, you just run it right down there and out. But I definitely don't want to get rid of the AC. And this is the easiest way. Just bolt it on and go. You don't have to fab something. Definitely, it's more money though. So if you're on a budget, you can easily pick up an eBay turbo for a few $100s. If you just make everything yourself, buy some piping, you know, a wastegate, literally just tap the oil pan for a drain, run a couple of hoses off of the cooler adapter plate that's on the other side of the engine where the cooler hoses would go, and you'd have a feed basically, or you could tee it off from the oil pressure sender. Turbo, more work, but definitely more budget friendly. Yes, I do actually. I have a Hawk CP cross member. The one, it's kind of like a double hump. It bolts up to the frame like that. Then it goes down under by the mount. Then it goes back up, and that's where the two pipes run. Not full race car because honestly, drag racing has kind of been annoying me lately. Since they closed down Englishtown Raceway Park, that was like a 45-minute drive. It really wasn't bad. And the only problem was when you get to go there, unless you had a rental, you only get a couple of runs at a test and tune. But at least you're only driving 45 minutes. Now I have to go to ACO. That's an hour and a half away. And this year, I only went, I think this is the second time I went. I went twice before the thing actually blew. And every other day out of the year, well, when it's not like snowing or something, I just drive it on the street. That's why I got rid of the harnesses. I put the belts back in. I made it quieter because I have all this, like, when I was first doing it, I want race car. Then I don't even take it to the track that much. And I honestly don't really care and I'll take it to the track that much. When I go, I freaking love it. If they opened up a track around the block, I'd probably be there every weekend. But just how far it is, it's way, way more street car than it is drag car. I'm going to be looking at you guys' questions, and I'm never going to get anything done. G-body, front drive, LS, kind of like yours. Front drive is kind of like yours. Oh, so you have like a high mount? Yeah, me too. When I was looking at the LSAs, when I first thought about doing that, they were a little higher than like 800. By the time I actually pulled the trigger on it, I paid, I think, like 1,800 for everything, which it's a little cheaper than a new one, but I definitely missed out when they were just warranty takeoffs and they were like cheap as shit. All right, I want to pull this freaking lid off, but this damn thing is full of water. Maybe I can like kink it with vice grips or something. I think I'm gonna pull them off and kind of hang them from the hood. I'll do something to get the wood to come out. I just gotta take the clip off, and then I can pop the hoses off. do have to drain this though. Because what is right around the corner? But then again, if the hoses are off, it'll probably just be damaged. I'm gonna zip tie these out of the way. Hopefully you guys can kind of hear me when I'm over there. You know, I have my, I wonder if I can, no, I can't use my mic, damn freaking iPhone. I hooked my laptop up, but I can't charge and plug something into the bottom at the same time. Unless I get some kind of splitter. Shit out of the way. Damn, 9/16. Yeah, I zip tied the shit out of this thing. I got everything tucked so nicely. Most of the zip ties. I think it's time to kill the heat. What am I looking at? I gotta get that out. Throttle cable. That wasn't good sound. Over there. Get these fuel lines out of here. If I could get the blower off the car, I think I'd be happy with that progress for the night. All right, now where to put the dikes? There they are. Ready. Free. I want to get you guys I guess I can unplug it for a little bit, try to bring you closer in. You can actually kind of see what the hell I'm doing. Basically pulling my friggin' artwork of zip ties, how everything is just kind of routed a certain way. I'm pulling all those off now. So I can disconnect the braided fuel line, and then we should be able to get the lid off. Just because the fuel line's going over the lid bolts, it'll make it a little easier if that's out of the way. This is already loose. Oh man, you should have seen when we put this thing on the truck. I take the return line off of the regulator to get this valve cover off. So I didn't put it back on, and the regulator hose comes up to like here, basically the hard line. So when the guy came with the tow truck to tow it back from tune time, I guess the angle was just so great, it just started pouring fuel out, and I thought it was just a little left in the rail. And then, you know, the longer I wait, and as he's pulling it up the truck, there's just like, he's like, it's really pouring out. I looked under there, it was literally like a faucet of fuel pouring out. And what happened was, being it was tipped so much, the tank was actually higher than this point here. So it was literally just like a faucet draining the whole tank of gas. It took me a couple of minutes before I realized that's actually what was happening when the flow didn't slow down. Adjustable or something. What size is this shit? 17, 18? Yeah. Okay, I need 2 18s. I've just been horrible with trying to put in actual wrench sizes lately for some reason. Alright. So this is my main feed. So for anybody who's wondering about the fuel, this comes off the tank. I tee it right here. This goes to the rail. And then the excess pressure bleeds off through here to the regulator. So all the regulator is doing is bleeding off a certain amount of pressure back to the tank, and that's what actually allows so much pressure to go to the rail. Get this through here. There we go. All right. I think the lid is ready to come off now. Not as nice as it looks in the Tahoe videos or in the actual video, huh? That does happen a lot though. You just don't see it because I usually edit it out. I spend a lot of time on the floor picking these things up. You have no idea. God. Whew. I think I left the wrench under there. freaking, I think this extension is just worn the hell out. It's not staying on. And this is taking too long. I gotta have something faster. A little better. A lot better. We're free. I have to dump a bunch of water in the engine now. All right. Lid is off. Oh. All right. What's going on in there? Not too much. My catch can could do a little bit of a better job, but blower looks fine. All right. Now, you guys are going to get the privilege of seeing me try to lift this thing off by myself. Yeah, so if anyone who's not familiar with these, the bolts for the blower are under the lid. So those little hex, Torx, Allen keys, whatever the hell they are, that's what's actually bolting the blower down. So you got to pull the lid so we can actually get to those. Yeah, basically it rolls to the... The shitty thing, the problem, like most cars, it wouldn't be such a big of a deal, but with these cars, the freaking front end is so long on them. Like it passes the bumper so far. If you freaking drop something right there, which will basically be the front of any normal car, you can't get it because your arm only can reach out like so far. Basically, anything you drop in the engine bay, if it's not on a certain side, you can grab it by the wheel, you need a freaking magnet because the front of the car is so freaking long. Whew. All right. That clock is wrong. 8:35, 7:35. I'm assuming it's 7 something. Maybe, I don't know. We'll keep moving. Try to get this blower off. Unplug the injectors. More zip ties. Pretty crazy with the zip ties on this. I'm right-handed, so yeah, I can't get good enough grip to freaking press the clip in and pull it off my left hand like I could on the other side. Oh. Screwdriver. I'm going to press the clip as I pull up on it. There we go. Yeah. Come on. One more. All right. Injectors are clear. Gotta get the regulator off of the blower. Too big. I can't wait to show you guys my plan for what's going in this thing. It's gonna be freaking awesome. I'm picking up the engine tomorrow, so you might get a video tomorrow night. I pick it up, shoot it, bring it back here with the Tahoe, so anybody who's interested in the Tahoe, which I'm feeling the Camaro guys, at least most of them, the Camaro people and the Tahoe people are two different groups. I know the Camaro videos don't do nearly as good as the Tahoe videos, but I don't mind. Like all that stuff I was doing to the Tahoe, I wanted to do, I just recorded it for you guys. But I'm working on something. I'm gonna make a video for you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna pick it up with the Tahoe. I got one of those like tow hitch rack things to hook to the tow hitch that can handle like, I think like 700-800 pounds. I'm just gonna drive it back that way. All right, clear. Vacuum hose under here. I think that's for the meth. And just in case there is someone interested in the Tahoe watching, the video where I actually tow the thing, I was supposed to make it a few weeks ago. I got it all planned out. I go from Manhattan to Staten Island, go to U-Haul, ready to pick the trailer up, pull into the lot. I don't see a trailer. I see a bunch of other trailers. I don't see a car trailer. I'm like, all right, maybe it's in the back or something. I get inside, and the guy's like, oh shit. We cooked it. Nah, he didn't say he couldn't get in touch with me. He said they forgot to call me that the guy who had the trailer before never brought it back. So I literally had everything set up. I'm ready to make the video. I drive out there, ready to freaking pick the trailer up, and they don't have it for me. And of course, they don't call me. Don't let me know. Just waste my time. So right on the spot, I made another appointment for like 3 weeks later, which is coming up this weekend. So if that one goes as planned, you'll have a Tahoe tow video next week. I think it's just the bolts and the blower could come off. Damn, those are tiny. I forgot how freaking little those bolts were. They're literally like a freaking 8mm. Something like that. They are tiny. So I need to freaking drop this thing into the engine. Get a long extension. That's still too big. I don't know what the size of this shit is. This is a 6. So it's smaller than a 6. Still too big. Break open the Silver Eagle set. Freaking 4, that is really tiny. They can't be that small. Even if this was the size, I don't know how I'm getting this thing out before I drop it. Nope, that's too small. Maybe somebody's commenting, like, you idiot, that's a friggin' another size. Oh, you guys are talking coffee. I'm missing out. I gotta just do live chats where I just sit there and answer your questions. Find out what the noise. That's what we're trying to figure out now. I'm trying to be optimistic and see if I can actually pull the thing apart and get a head off. Yeah, Trans Am is definitely neglected. It's actually right outside the other side of this wall. It was just sitting by my house. I just started driving it again. But, I gotta hand it to that car. As old as it is, as slow as it is, it has been friggin' reliable as hell. I might jinx it now, but to hell with it. It hasn't had any problems. Starts up in the cold without a problem, even with the carburetor. The gas mileage is absolutely terrible. It's like 6.5 to 7 miles a gallon. But the thing's running pig rich. We still have to play with the carb and stuff. I'm sure it'll get better once we mess with it. But for what it is, that thing has been friggin' great. I really want to get it fixed up. I just love the way believe me, I love this car. But just getting in that car with the stock suspension, the stock seats, the automatic transmission, it's just fun to drive it. Even just with the stock 30-something-year-old bushings, it handles really well, surprisingly. So I can't wait to get that thing pretty much restored and start doing stuff to it. I'm going to announce what my plan is for that car soon. But before we get into any power stuff, I've been saying it over and over, but we're doing the T-tops and we're doing the inside. The inside smells like absolute ass, and I have to get it cleaned up. And then, side by side, when it's colder out and I can't do anything outside, T-tops are done. That's when we're going to probably be doing suspension stuff to the Trans Am. I'm going to do a budget kind of small block build to it before it gets the LS. So there is going to be some good stuff coming with that car. Just the Camaro, I guess, had to show its dominance on the channel and grenade itself just to kind of show little brother Trans Am, even though they're technically the same age, but I guess this is the biological kid. The Trans Am is like the adopted kid or the stepson, and the Camaro just felt like it had to show the Trans Am who owns the channel, because now it's just sitting outside in the cold while I'm friggin' elbows deep into the engine on this thing. What am I doing here? I don't know what size. I think I used like a Torx last time because I didn't have a freaking Allen key that fit it. Oh, what the hell did I use to bolt this shit down? It's one of those friggin' things where it's like right in between a size that, oh, it might be. Is this a 4? Damn. What's this? This is a 5. This is a 5? This is a 6. This is a 5. It might be this one. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get it off, though, because I'm going to pull the freaking bolt with this little dinky thing. That's the size. It's a 5. All right. I got a semi-breaker bar 1/4-inch ratchet. Broke loose. All right. I'm just gonna crack them loose and buzz it with the gun. Freaking lies in my way. That's one side. It's hilarious that this freaking huge blower is held on by these dinky little freaking 5mm Allen screws. This freaking thing, I'm putting tape on this, I don't trust it. I could totally see the freaking socket coming off. Going down the intake. Alright, good. Alright. Should I magnet them out? I want to magnet them out, but they have freaking washers on them. I don't want the damn washers to fall in. Damn. Broken bell housing. Steve Pauly, yep, was a 5. Oh man, I would love to do a Trans Am versus Camaro vid. In the end, the transmission, well, this car is always going to be manual. I'll say that right now. But in the end, not the Tahoe, the Trans Am is probably going to be the faster car, just because that's going to be an auto. And I'm probably going to push the same power with this, same power as this, if not a little bit more. But this car is always going to be an auto. I love freaking drag racing with the auto. It's like unbelievable how fun it is. Someone was still caught. I think I'm going to lift it off with the bolts in it because freaking lose the washers. All right. Only a select few of you guys. How many people are in here? 5, 6 people? You're gonna get to see me lift this stupid thing off now. So if something goes hilariously wrong, you guys are gonna see it. All right. Now, how the hell did I do this last time? I think I squatted over the engine or something. My buddy was supposed to be coming over to help me, and then I just got impatient. I'm like, you know, I think I can do it myself, and I did get it on. So hopefully I can get it off now. All right, let's see here. Is this not sketchy? Or what? Right foot on the alternator. And there she is. My adapter plates. Hint, hint. New engine isn't going to need these. So that's like freaking at least a ½ inch of hood clearance I'm going to gain. All right, now to get down. Whew. All right. Now where the hell to put this thing? All right. Here we are. Easy enough. Bunch of leaves and shit in there. Now, I guess, yeah, the engine's coming out, Jacob. Not right now, but I'm basically just tearing down what I can to make it easier to pull. What the hell was that? I dropped a water bottle. Freaking tripod's too big here. Yeah, I'm definitely pulling it out, but I figured all this stuff has to come off regardless. So to go on the new engine, that's why I'm pulling the blower down. I'm going to pull the heads, accessory drive, and then I'm just going to pull, I'm taking the transmission out from the bottom, and then I'm pulling the engine out alone because there's not really any room to do everything at once. Plus, I don't feel like pulling the radiator and all that. If I disconnect the transmission first, I could just lift this straight up. I just got to take the hood off. But the blower's off. I guess I want to get that head off, but that looks like the bitchy one because I got the compressor and everything bolted up there. This one would be easy, but I'm pretty sure the problem is on that side. All right, let me collect the gaskets. Move some wires around, and I guess we'll pull the belt off here, bolt the compressor, unbolt the compressor. I think the lines are long enough where I can kind of twist it and pull it over this way so I don't have to worry about the refrigerant coming out or anything. Back over to the charger for you guys. Why isn't my friggin' live chat coming up? I know I'm here alone, otherwise I would take the hood off. I've done it before alone, before the car was painted and before the cowl. And I could do it, but with the paint now, one wrong move and the freaking thing slides and hits the fender, I'm gonna freaking want to die. So I'm just gonna leave it on for now. Now with the blower out of the way, that opens up a lot of headroom to kind of get in there and get to the rockers and stuff. Oh yeah, major surgery. Basically everything's coming off. I just put the transmission back in like maybe a month or so ago. That's coming back out. Clutch is all coming back off. Rear main I put in absolutely for nothing. But it's all, it all comes apart pretty easily like that. You work on it so much. Nothing ever really gets stuck. Because you're constantly fixing shit or swapping parts out. I really want to put these heads on the Tahoe because they're 243, 799. They're like GTO heads. And I had them milled down specifically for the 5.3 to bring the compression back up. So they're basically kind of like a custom 5.3 head. I'd probably just have them like CNC'd or ported or something and just throw them on the Tahoe, even with the cam that's in here. And then the Tahoe will basically be ready for a turbo. Unfortunately, you still got the 60E in it, so. More zip ties. I didn't even drain the coolant yet, so this is going to make a freaking mess. These out of the way. So many zip ties. Okay, that's the one I need. Second move, I guess. You know, the tank is so far down, I should have just throw this over here. Where's that training? Are the freaking best thing ever. These flush cut pliers. If you're doing any kind of zip tie, especially all the shit that I did with zip tying, and if you guys ever get caught on these damn friggin' nubs that just cut you open, these guys just freaking come in here and cut that perfectly flush. Because I've been using regular cutters before, and it would leave that little nub there. Oh my God, working like in front of the fan, that thing just rips you up. These things solve that problem. I think these are called nippy cutters, or they're like flush cut pliers or something like that. All right, those are all for turn line. Stay. This whole thing is like fished under here. Trash can. Vacuum hoses. Pour a little fuel on our Walmart battery, why don't we? I think the freaking water pump has to come off to get that bracket off of there. What am I doing? I guess I gotta get the brackets gotta come off the accessory drive so I get the belt off. And then I gotta get the accessory drive stuff off the water pump, then I gotta pull the water pump, then I can take that back bracket off of the compressor off of the passenger side head, and then I think I can take this whole chunk of bracket, I think, and just kind of move it over here. I'll lay this on that side, and I probably won't have to disassemble that entire bracket, like the two front and rear pieces. This is a 5 also. Where the hell that went? It was on the drill. I remember that much. Where'd it go? Anybody see the drill? Anybody? Put it back in the drawer. There it is. Oh, yeah. Last time I had this off, I put a bunch of anti-seize on them. Because they were pretty stuck last time. But coming out no problem now. Well, the new bolts are also stainless, so that helps. Still 20 ACs. What time is it? Is that right? 9 o'clock. Clock's went. Is it really only 8 o'clock? Anybody on the East Coast know what time it is? For some reason, my phone isn't showing me while I'm live chatting. 8:13. It is only 8:13. Damn. Going faster than I thought. All right. Maybe we will get a freaking head off this thing. The camera's going to be running until I do. Either I'm going to get tired and give up, or we're going to see a head come off this thing. I really have to get a 1/4 inch electric ratchet. Alright, that's those. Now, that one is a little bigger, I think. All right. Get our belt off. Put you guys in front of the drawer. How late? I set a time for 11 p.m. for me. Either 11 or until I get at least one of the heads off. I feel like the noise is coming from the passenger side, so I figure I'll pull the head. Maybe at least I can get a look at the cam and the lifters, the top of the piston. But if everything looks fine, it's most likely a rod or a wrist pin or something. But I got to pull the heads anyway. So I'm just doing it while it's in the car, just because I don't really have anything else to do. I don't have the crane here yet. How long have I been using this toolbox and I still open the freaking screwdriver drawer when I'm trying to go for a freaking wrench? Oh, while I'm here, check out the belt. For any of you guys who've been watching all the Camaro stuff, remember when my belt was like fraying and shit? It's absolutely perfect now. Since I went to that Grip Tech pulley, did the tensioning procedure with the accessory drive, haven't had one problem. It did that 10-second pass, did all those 11s. It freaking did absolutely perfect. Yeah, I still got that thing laying here. Where the hell is it? You remember this crap? This ZZP on here, better than this crap. So at least my belt issue's fixed. But now we have other issues. But it's all part of the game. All right. Belt's off. Another zip tie. AC. Got the steam vent hose. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm trying to talk kind of loud. I'd love to stay over there and just chat with you guys. I have to really do just a kind of regular live chat. Just hang out here, not actually working on anything, so I can actually look at the screen. Does this have to come off? Yeah, kind of. I'm bummed that I have to pull the freaking water pump to get the accessory drive off, but at the same time, I have to drain it anyway to pull the heads off. It's just, I don't feel like jacking this stupid thing up. And I know it's gonna piss everywhere as soon as I pull that pump off. I only have a few absorber pans left too. Come on. Pop up chat. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on doing that. I've been trying to do that for a while. It's just, I work at night. I work evenings and I don't get out until like 11. And then I'm always busy on the weekends. I don't actually really work on this on the weekends unless I go to the track or if I have free time. I'm usually doing like family stuff. So literally whenever I'm working on the car, it's before work during the week. Or if it's like a holiday and I'm off, I decide to just take a vacation day or something. But during the day, I do a live chat before work. Everybody's going to be at work and nobody's going to be able to watch it or sit down. That's the biggest problem. Oh, I'm a mechanic. Obviously. Sometimes it looks like I know what I'm doing, so it makes sense to kind of do during the day as well. But yeah, I work evenings as a fleet mechanic, so I'm kind of used to always working on the same thing, which is nice. A lot of express vans and stuff. So I'm really familiar with these engines. But yeah, I'm working in the evening. Otherwise, I would freaking do a live chat or a live video way more. Come on, this phone. I can't even get the damn menu up. See what you guys are. Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship. Oh yeah, it's going great. I think that's it. It's funny, I go into Dunkin' Donuts and I usually go to the same locations when I'm at work, on my way to work in the morning. And there's usually the same people in there. Then out of nowhere one day, one of the guys is like, I saw you on YouTube. And I would always see the same people in there. And I guess my videos are just kind of getting pushed where people are seeing it in the sidebar. And now they're like, oh, they recognize me. I thought that was funny. Oh, yeah, the LSA is great. Honestly, I couldn't believe how fast this car was when I first put it together. Because, you know, the blower kind of limits you, especially if you're on a budget. Turbo, you just make more power for cheaper. But I think the blower works better with the manual just because the power is just instant. You could even just coming off of a slight idle and you just gun it, as long as you have traction, the power is right there. It could get you going quick. You don't have to worry about losing too much time launching it like you would if it was an auto, or if it was a turbo and you got to kind of, get it up to RPM and dump it and you'll just blow the tires off. But I was surprised how good it did with the two-step when I did those last passes when the engine finally went out, because I had it on the two-step. It was making like I think 12 pounds. I was on it for a second and a half, and man, you saw that video. Like it kind of scared the shit out of me. Like I was not expecting it. It just hooked and friggin' went. That was the first time ever I was able to just keep my foot in it all the way off the line. And I think that's why right away I got like the best 60 foot with the 1.7, which, you know, it's nothing to really brag about, but for all the times I took this thing to the track to do that twice back to back, huge difference using the two-step. But oh yeah, blower, a lot of fun, especially with the manual. Literally when I was recording that, like I felt like I needed like a neck brace or something. It's a good thing I had the seat brace. I wouldn't be surprised if I freaking snapped the seat out of the off the track or something. It jerked like so hard, but I kind of know what to expect now for next time. Once this thing's back together, it's going to be a good amount faster. So I'm actually kind of considering putting a lower pulley on it. Not 100%. I got 80-pound injectors in it now. 3/8 feed line. I don't know how far that's going to take me. Even with the fuel pump, I only have like it's a 400. But, you know, depending on what I read, some people are saying they're making over 800 at the wheel, or they made 800 at the wheel before they had to upgrade the pump. Other people are saying, you know, the 80 pounds are good for that. So I just really got to see how the car does, and maybe kind of just adjust the fuel pressure from the air to get by. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to put probably 2 Marlboro 255s in the tank, and I'm just going to step up the feed line to a -8, which is like I think it's a ½ inch. And that'll give me pump, it'll give me more feed. The return's already at 3/8. I could just leave that alone. I could leave the same regulator. So it's not too big of a deal. I'll just probably have to get bigger injectors, but I'm gonna go together, take it to tune time, we'll get it tuned. And if I need more fuel, I need more fuel. Yeah, I know. I'm talking too much. I really got to get to work on this thing. If you guys want to ask me questions, use Instagram. I've kind of been behind. I know I have quite a few questions on people. I think I answered a couple of them today. But if you want to get in contact with me and message me personally, I will get back to you. Sometimes it takes me weeks or like friggin' months. I'm behind I was. But I do get around to it. Honestly, you're probably better off commenting on a video because I read all the comments. Unless it somehow gets mixed up and they hold for review, I see all the comments. So if you have a question about something, I'm definitely going to get back to you a lot faster if you comment it than if you send it to me through Instagram. All right. I'm going to get these things back on now. Nothing like trying to get a set of friggin' wet, sweaty gloves back on your hands. This may take a while. I think I have enough battery where I could bring you guys in again. We'll just set you over here. Next step, I gotta get that freaking water pump off, which means this thing is gonna make a mess. All right, water pump time. Now I gotta somehow wedge this under the car. I don't know, maybe I'll just jack it up in one corner. I'm not using, you notice I have it on this side. I'm not using the quick jacks because last time I did the transmission, I needed to use the friggin' things to work on friends' cars. I had to do stuff on my mom's car, and the Camaro was just sitting on it for legit like 2 months. So I'm leaving this over here, and I'm just gonna keep it on jack stands. profile jack here. Damn it. I don't think this shit's gonna fit under here. Oh, that sucks. I have my low profile Harbor Freight jack at home. I don't think it's gonna clear the friggin', it might. Where the hell is the freaking... All right, how am I gonna do this? Car doesn't run, I can't drive on anything. I'm too lazy to freaking get the quick jacks around. I could try jacking it from back here. The problem is the subframe connector on this side hangs down, then it goes up, and then it's tucked above the pinch weld. So I can't get it from over there. The other side, it goes all the way up. Alright, I don't know. This is probably going to lift the back before it lifts the front. I might just leave it on the jack. And just get it up far enough so I can get the pan under it. I'm gonna leave that there. I think I can get it under here now. It's in. You can't see it, but I promise it's like right there. Now, do I just pull the pump off and let it piss, or do I pull the hose off and let it piss? That is the question. Oh, man, I got pissed myself now that I mentioned it. Steam vent tube thingy. Upper. One of the bolts for this side is behind the ear on the water pump. That's why I'm removing the water pump instead of just taking this off and pulling the head. He does not want to let go. We have giant ass hose pliers in here. I'm gonna try to pick at it. Why is that orange? I have Dexcool in this thing? yourself. That's pretty weird. I could have sworn I put regular like green antifreeze in this thing. Oh well. Who put Dexcool in my engine? Shit. How awesome would that be if I just had a freaking Dunkin' Donuts, like a little corner, like bar with my own personal Dunkin' barista. That would be pretty badass. All right. Once I start making like good progress, I get really lazy and I just start working slow because I know kind of what needs to be done. But it's just the, you get pull that thrusters, manifold or header or whatever, and hopefully we get the head off. Where the hell is the 8? I think I put it in the bag or something. This one's gonna have something to say. This one is gonna let its heart out. I really need to get like a giant ass hose like plier set. I blame the Dexcool. Still don't know who put it in there. I swear it wasn't me. Party now. It's weird, it looks like Dexcool, but it also looks pink. I don't know what the hell's going on. Alright, hose, heater hoses. That noise is not helping my bathroom situation. Welcome any newcomers. I haven't been looking at messages, so anybody who's joined interacts and stuff, I apologize. But in case you don't know, we're trying to get to the bottom of what the hell happened to the Camaro. Either a water pump, AC compressor, a few rockers, push rods, and header away from probably not learning anything, because I have a feeling the noise is in the bottom end. But I refuse to freaking pull the pan because if it's something down there, honestly, it's not worth my time pulling the pan off. Yep. coolant is some slippery ass stuff. How many times I had to move those rubber things I had here because I friggin', when I did the Subaru, I kept falling on my ass because the coolant was going underneath the mats. Come on, dude. Your friend's already off. I mean, you're all alone. Really gonna fight me? There we go. Whew. Hoses are off. All right, let's zip this guy off. Oh, also, Greg from LSX Concepts, he sent me stainless water pump bolts when he sent me the little fittings for the blower. So thanks to him once again. I'm definitely going to be installing these guys when I put it back together. All their kits come with, or you can get them with stainless hardware now. I got them when they first came out, so they didn't offer it. But so he just sent me all this stuff to replace it. Everything looks great. The only things I didn't have were the water pump bolts. What size are they? That's way too big. I am friggin' awful with Allen and hex key sizing. Awful. Still too big. I want to stop and answer questions, but I think I'm going to just power through, get this off. And then I'll just chat with you guys if I get this done before 11. I'm really not going with both heads. If I get the passenger one off, I'll probably stop and just talk to you guys. Whoops. Move the pan. Move the pan. Move the pan. This guy is going on the new engine because I just replaced this. It doesn't even have like friggin' probably 5,000 miles on it. I just got new gaskets. I'll probably even freaking reuse these. Those are looking pretty fresh still. That's what's great about these GMs. They use these metal, like reusable gaskets. If this was on here for like 50,000 miles, it wouldn't look like this though. Usually they separate from here and they collapse and they start leaking, but these look fine. I might just throw them back on. All right. Compressor. I think. What size is that? It's bigger than that. But of course, it's smaller than that. And the one in between, I don't know where the hell it is. Let's go to the other box. Smaller than that. I know I should just look at the sizes, but some of these are so old that you can't even see what's bigger than that. This is an 8. Hope I see a message. Where's the water pump go? Got the size. Where's the wrench? Ugh. Definitely the downside of doing this kind of work on these cars. Just the front end is so freaking long. And I got all my panels lined up real nice, so I don't want to freaking pull them off, pull the bumper off. Hopefully this works out. I think the lines are going to be long enough where I kind of just pop this down. What the hell? I goes through here. She's coming. I gotta try to freaking. I gotta lay all this stuff out after this is apart so I know where everything goes. All these bolts are different lengths. Alright. Free. We're free. What the hell? Where do I have this shit right now? Oh, that's the pressure sensor. Ugh. Okay. I have hoses zip tied to the compressor, as usual. I got a lot of zip tying to do when this thing goes back together. But the reason I zip tied so much, not so it looks good, I mean 50-50 because it looks good, and because you don't want shit like chafing on anything. Spray your guts in my face. Don't. There we go, look at that. I wasn't planning on that actually being serviceable. We swing out of the way, but you totally can. So that doesn't have to get drained. We'll move the heater hoses out of the way. So all we have are the bolts for the head, the header bolts, which is simple as shit now because with this out of the way, I just get right in here. Pull the plug wires off. I'll zip the exhaust bolts off. We'll get rid of the rockers. And I think we'll have this thing off. Woo! What did I say about the coolant? It's not very slippery at all, is it? Remove header bolts. Yeah, in this, yeah, I totally just almost broke my ass. I'm surprised I didn't dent the fender when I freaking fell on it. Yeah, when a lot of four-cylinder guys would say that I got to remove the header bolts where it's typically you got like an inline four or something. It's a manifold, but in this case, they actually are headers. I gotta like really look. I don't know how to see super chat on here, guys. This is like my first time ever doing a chat. I want to be able to pull this shit up so I can see what's going on. Super chat. Oh, I got you now, Cameron. If you could have any car, what would it be? Honestly, if I had, I don't really have like dream cars like McLarens and stuff like that, honestly. I'll be happy with just like a freaking Buick Grand National with an LS swap or something like from the 80s that's just super clean, a DeLorean or something like that. That's kind of like a dream car to me. But if I could have one like just outrageously expensive car, it would probably be a Ferrari F40. Just because, I mean, just look at the wing on this thing. Kind of one of the reasons why I threw it on here. It's just so ridiculous. And the fact that it's a factory option. I don't know. The width of that car, the shape, that stupid wing on the back. If I had one just free, ridiculous, expensive car, that would probably be the one I'd take. How do I get the... So I'm back at Super Chat now. All right. So I know how to switch between Super Chat and live chat. Sorry about the car. That's all right. Yeah, I'm going to move you guys back over here. And I'll plug you in because I wasn't expecting to do this. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of making a video, I'm just going to live chat video this. But it's probably better I'm using the phone because I can actually bring you guys in closer. All right. Back to regular chat. Yeah, that freaking F40, man. That is a badass looking car. I know it's funny. I've tasted coolant a lot of times, not on purpose, but it really doesn't taste bad. That's why they tell you to keep it away from animals, because a cat will come and drink it or something. Oh, all these wires are just like passing over everything. All right, I'm going for it, guys. I gotta try, like, broke my ass trying to get this plug wire off. I just gotta get that off. And then I get the bolts out for the exhaust. The rocker just comes out as one rail. I'll pull the push rods. It's not even 9 o'clock. We'll definitely have this head off. Knock on wood. I'm going to try to hit it with the hose pliers. This friggin' plug wire back here. The good news is if I slip and fall again, you guys are going to get one hell of an angle. Got it. I think it came up in one piece. I can't tell. I might have to steal one from the Tahoe. Okay. Now for the header bolts, header, manifold, exhaust. Oh, damn, I think that 13s or 15s? What do I usually use for these? 14. It might be 14s. I think they're 13s. They are 13s. I'm about to just climb in there, but I have the freaking drip pan in the way. No, not 13s. I'm stupid. They're freaking half-inch. Very close, but not close enough. 12. Where the hell is the American stuff? 9/16. Go over here. This thing's too freaking long as well. I'm just gonna move my towel so I don't fuck with the paint. You know, I got a photo over there. I can put you guys in front, so you see more than just my ass. Come on. All right, you guys are on the charger, and you can see what the hell's going on. Loose. 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 Dipstick is a 15. I'm just gonna pull that tube out of here. I'm still like, I'm puzzled as to what the hell happened. I really want it just to be like a freaking bad rocker or something, not a rocker, like a bad lifter or something stupid. Because if it actually messed up like a wrist pin or a rod or something, that's the thing, it has good oil pressure too, so that's why I'm thinking it might be like a wrist pin, but I don't understand what the hell could have happened, because there's going to be a little doubt in my mind when I go on that freaking two-step again with the new motor. So that's, I kind of like to figure out what the hell happened before I go and do the exact same thing again. I mean, if I was being stupid with the thing, I had it at full boost at like 5,500, 6,000 RPM. I mean, even then, you know, on a built motor, you'll be all right. But these things can handle a lot. I know it's making more power than the dyno showed, just because of the trap speed and the weight. But I mean, at freaking 2,500 RPM, I don't understand why the hell the thing just let go. So, for sure, I'm going to be hesitant about going on that two-step a while once this thing's back together. Little tip, remove the back one first. The really bitchy one to get to, because if you remove all these and you get to that one, all that weight is going to be hanging on this last one, and it is going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get out. Exhaust is free. Gaskets look good. I don't see any leaks from them. Pays to use OEM. Those graphite carbon ones are absolute shit. All right, rockers. Rockers slip out the push rods, bolts. I gotta take off the little friggin' crossover tube. Hold on. This is like a 10. There we are. Let's slip these back in here. All right, let's zip these rockers out. Ooh, first try. I see if I have an adapter so I can hook this up to the ratchet, the electric. All right, we're all loose. Whew. Now how to zip them out easily. And this is kind of the size. I think that'll work. All right, I need a box for these now. Normally, I'd like be careful and, you know, put these back where I got them from, but all this stuff I'm probably gonna need from push rods. Rockers aren't gonna really make a difference because they're going on. No, actually, they're not going on. They're staying on this engine, so never mind. But like lifters, pistons, all that stuff you want. Going back exactly where you took it from. That looked good for a second, but it's not. Valve springs look fine. I'm still looking at it, like maybe it's just a valve spring. I'm looking to see if the inside one, because these are Brian Tooley double springs. And I'm making sure the bottom one didn't, the inside one didn't break. So the outside are fine. All right. Rolling the push rods in the box, they are perfectly flat. So, unless it's a lifter, it doesn't seem like it's a valve train thing. One more look at these freaking valve springs here. Nah, they look fine. All right. I forgot I have freaking, well, I didn't forget, but I forgot it's kind of annoying because I have head studs on it. So I get it off with the AC box. But I'm pretty sure when I put the car together, I had 706 heads. I'm like 99% sure I put these heads on with the motor in the car. So we should be able to get it off. Just gotta figure out what size these are. Well, we're a few head bolts away from seeing what the inside of the motor looks like, so I'm gonna check in with the chat here quick. Oily glove hands. Trying to get the messages to pop up. Lifters, lifters. Yep, we're getting close. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna be able to reuse most of it. Assuming it's not a lifter and the cam's fine, I'm using the cam probably in the Trans Am whenever that gets an LS. If not, it's going to go in the Tahoe whenever I decide to boost that. That I could definitely reuse. This is definitely going to get a blower cam. The only reason I had a turbo cam to begin with is when I was planning on going turbo. If you guys look at my playlist when I was talking about my entire boost playlist on this car, my first video I talked about doing a turbo kit, and then I don't know how long it took me to change my mind, but then I finally decided the blower is just going to be better to keep the AC and just look cleaner and just kind of bolt together better instead of having to like weld my own stuff together. Yeah, Dan, that's LSX Concepts. The whole accessory drive is LSX Concepts. Hey, Garrett. Spoon Performance, LS engine swap, suspension. I've heard Spoon Performance as far as seats go. I didn't know they actually made suspension for these cars. I'd love to do it, Dan. I love to do it once a week. Like I said, today it's a Tuesday, and I went into work. I was supposed to have a meeting in the morning, but my boss canceled. But I was already planning on going in early, so I just went to work early. That's why I'm here. If I worked regular hours, regular 9 to 5, yeah, I do this a lot more. But the problem is when I would normally be doing this, I'm at work. And then I don't feel like coming here at like 11 at night, 12 at night, and then doing all this when I got to get up early the next day to do some more work on it. But, all right, let me stop playing here. Let's get these Head bolts, studs off. What size? These top ones are smaller. I think this is like 15s, 5/8. I don't know what's going on here. It's a 16. Yeah, they're like a 5/8, I think. Where's my gun? I had a gun here. Just a little warning. I'm going with a gun with this one. That's how I remove them. Obviously, I don't put them on with an impact gun. But when it's coming to just zipping them out, I always zip them off with an impact gun. I try to kind of maintain a pattern. They say you should take it off, you know, inside out or reverse pattern or whatever. I try to, but I never ever had a problem just randomly taking it off and having like a warping problem or anything. If I could find this damn reversal socket, I could get the thing in there. I need a freaking wobble universal. I'm gonna move you guys over, unplug you. Go in the drawer over here. The pad to try to catch some of the coolant, but probably not gonna happen. I'm just going for chrome. That's all I have. I feel like I should take the tops out first, though. I'm definitely gonna take the tops out because those little tiny ones. That's where something snap or something. Because I think those get tightened to last when you're actually putting them on. 12, also like 13s. This guy gotta come out. Man, this place is a friggin' mess. Just a pile of bolts. I had a better friggin' socket, a better ratchet in here. Oh well. These guys come off real easy. Ow! Damn, there's like a sharp ass piece of friggin' tree bark in there. What the hell is that? Oh, you motherfucker. What is that? I think that's a piece of the hood. Ow, that freaking hurt. Oh, it went right under my nail. That was when I had to cut this out. It somehow made its way under there. Come on. Last one. I'm probably going to pull the bottoms first because the headers are kind of... Oh man, I don't know if this is going to come off with the header there, honestly. Alright, this is where we might run into some problems. Because the angle of the header that comes off, it's going to hit it. I'm going to have to maybe, if I slide under there, I could just zip the wide pipe, the clamp off one side. Hopefully I don't have to. These ARP head bolts, studs, nuts, they're reusable. So if I don't put them, I don't think I can put them on the car with the engine I got. I'm pretty sure it uses different longer or shorter bolts or something, but they'll definitely be saved for whenever the hell this engine makes it into something else. Also, the place I got the engine from, I was able to work with them, so they waived the core for me, so I don't have to pay the core fee, and I don't have to give them my engine back, because they were like, you could just give us the 5.3 whatever, but I'm like, I want to keep it so I could put it in something else eventually. But once I actually get it and the deal is sealed, I'll get more into that. Hopefully tomorrow. It is absolute shit. The problem is there's crud all inside of these grooves. It's a little washer. Let's slip up. Okay, that's that. Now, bottom ones. Where's my sketchy? Here we go. I'm gonna start in the middle. Work my way up. This isn't gonna freaking work. I gotta use a ratchet. It'll work for the middle ones. I can't get to the bottom ones though. Okay, I may have shot myself in the foot by pulling the flange, the header off first. Let me try to get one bolt in here to lift it up a little. Maybe I can get to it now. Is it even the right size? That's the size. Damn it. This header I think is going to be a problem. Problem with the white pipe is I gotta take off both sides. Looks like it kind of pulled away somehow. I mean, I might be able to slip it out, but the freaking spark plugs definitely have to come off. You know, I'm gonna try to zip it off, and I might be able to spin the header and pull it out and drop it down without touching the whole Y pipe itself. It would be. I'd pull it, but I don't have the crane with me now. And honestly, the curiosity is killing me. I'm wondering if I'm going to find something when I pull the head off with the lifters. That's why I didn't just pull the whole thing out. But regardless, you know, the header's got to come off to pull the motor out anyway. I'm going to have to slip them off. The Y pipe has to come off. Transmission has to come out. So all this stuff has to come off anyway. So it's a little more work doing it this way. But if I can see what's going on before I get the crane and the engine stand down here, I'd rather just pull them off this way. Plus, it's going to be a little easier to maneuver it You know, I might actually be able to pull the motor without even pulling the heads, without even pulling the hood once the heads are off. But I'm gonna slip underneath with, I think that's the 9/16. How are we doing on time? We're just past 9 now. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna need this blanket to lay on it. Of course, so I don't put a bunch of metal shards and stuff onto it. This is what's about to go down here. I'm just going to try to grab that clamp without putting my face on that car. Oh yeah, I can get it. I think those are 15s. Can I get a jack stand under it? Let's see. I can get a jack stand there. Got enough room. I mean, if I can not get crushed in a live video, that would be most ideal. All right, now. Ugh. Loose. That's it, bolts are off. Now if I could just slide the thing forward, I could drop it down. Just gotta tap the clamp, spin it off. Back under. Oh. just had to tap that band clamp because it was sticking to the header really good. There we go. All right. All right. I think that's good now. Only problem is the O2 is still plugged in. I don't know if I can reach that, but that is way better. I'm going to see if I can pull it off quick because I need to drop the whole thing down, but I think I can get it out now. Nah. I'm going to leave it. I don't feel like going up any higher with the jack. It's getting a little close to the back of the door. But I think that's good one I got. I could just set them up there. Now, you could just stay up here. I could zip them out. Can I get maybe an extension? There we go. God, those things are tight. Oh my God. Woo. They held the boost in. That's for sure. I'm trying to work from the center out. Oh, that back one's gonna be fun. God. All right. 1, 2, 3. The one in the back. The friggin' sensor gotta come out. The coolant sensor for the gauge. Pull the plugs. They're getting changed anyway, so I could care less if I break one off with the header when I'm pulling it. Now this back here, this is the sender for the gauge in the car. It's for the stock 3rd gen gauge. The one in the front, because the heads, there's no left and right, you could swap them. So I think there's like a plug up there. No, it's in the same spot. There's one hole there. But if this head was on that side, it'd be switched, so then the hole's over there. So that side has the sensor for the PCM, and the other hole is what is feeding the gauge. Just tight enough where you can't turn it by hand, but just loose enough where the ratchet is. Probably because there's water pressure on it. Or not. I guess it all came out when the water pump went. one's gonna be fun. Let me get this one first. I'll come back to that one. God. That one. We got one more at the bottom one more at the back bottom, and then just the middle ones. The problem is I need a freaking socket that's gonna fit. This shit. It's way too tall. Damn. How we doing over here? We still got a good battery? Make sure I'm not talking to myself. Rod end cap. The intensity, I know it is. It's fighting the closer I get to freaking finding the truth. What do you think you'll find? I'm guessing inside. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to find anything. When I pull the head off, I don't think anything's going to look out of place. I really think it's like a wrist pin or a rod or something. I might try just cranking the engine over to see if I can hear like a little bit of a click by turning the crank pulley on that side with the head off, see if the piston's moving weird, if it is like a wrist pin or something. But the sound is so consistent, it's probably a rod. Like I said, I'm just pulling this off because it's going to have to come off anyway, even when the motor's out of the car. And I figured I want to see, I'm mostly just looking at the lifters. Because if I didn't already have an engine on order, I wouldn't just pull this thing out without pulling the head first. Because there's a possibility it could still be a lifter or something, but I don't think it is. What do we got here? 18, 17. What did I use when I put this shit on? I really don't want to have to use a 3/8 drive. Those things are tight. Well, I got a 3/8 drive here. You know, I might have a breaker pad. I hope I don't break the breaker pad. But if I find a pipe, this might be the only freaking way I could get to this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just pipe it and hope the breaker bar doesn't snap. Now to find a pipe. I mean, it's supposed to be, but damn. I don't know if I can get it enough. I'm gonna hit the hood. I got some turn out of it. Just a little more. There we go. Whew. I'm definitely looking forward to having the heads on when the motor goes back in. Okay, now I think I could just zip them out. Are they 15? No, 15. What am I using here? But there were 5/8, yeah. God, all these extensions are like loose as hell. Gone forever. Hey, extension. Where is that little extension that keeps falling off of things? Here we go. Did I miss one? That one feels like it's still tight. Gone forever. Possibly not gone forever. That one's gone just for a little bit. I don't think I loosened the middle one. That's why that thing's tight. Get this one off first. So far, aside from one of them that fell on the motor mount, all of them fell into the tray, which is good. So it may not be gone forever after all. Alright, I just missed that one in the middle. Doesn't want the extension. I think that's all about it. Did I pick up the wrong socket? Nope, that's the right one. I think I can see it. This thing has seen some shit. She's a loose one. Slow down, I don't give a shit. I'm done with you anyway. Alright, that's it for the bottom ones. Now for the tops, I think I can hit them with the gun. I'm certainly going to try. Beautiful. I think I loosened that one by hand before. I hope I did. All right, one in the back. Yeah, definitely stopping with this one. Screw the other one. Like I said, the noise was coming from this side, so there's nothing in here. She's a goner. Coolant's coming out. We're loose. All right, I think I can pull it off. I think gotta get around the head. Here comes the waterworks. I should probably bring you guys in for this. I could somehow prop you up. Hold on. Gonna get a little dizzy. All right. Try to get you in here. That's decent enough, I guess. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm still not 100% if it's gonna clear the header and the freaking studs, but it's loose. Oh, you know what? I think, do I have a ground on this head? I hope I don't. No, it's on the other one. All right. Come on. You know what it is? I have the washers are still on the head studs. So it's getting hung up. I don't know. A phone call. You guys there? Hope we're still live. I think we're still live. We're still live. The timer's going. Still good. Still good. All right. Hopefully I don't have to take a phone call. If I do, I will be back up immediately before I pull this. So hopefully I can get it off for you. It's coming. It's the washers on the bottom that are kind of being a bitch. Here we go. I gotta pull the spark plugs. It just won't give it to me. Take 2 seconds. It's freaking getting hooked on the header. So close. But we're almost there. Almost there. One. 2. You look fine. A little gassy, but might just be coolant. Extension. Whew. Yeah, that's right. Those look fine. I mean, they're wet from the coolant that fell in there, but 2 more to go. And then I think it's going to give it to me. I got another phone call in. Hopefully we're still live. We're still good. Timer's going. All right, good. What if people try to call me? And I would go into airplane mode. But if I go into airplane mode, I don't have Wi-Fi here, so I need the freaking data on the phone. So next time, I'm gonna be prepared. And I'm gonna bring the laptop. Is this thing loose playing games with me? This background is such a bitch. Bitch now, imagine when everything's assembled. All right, we're loose. That's it. That plug looks absolutely fine too. Now, it's time for the head. Here we go. It's coming off now, I'm pretty sure. Now we're hitting the AC box. I know I pulled these before. It's getting caught on the bottom ones. I gotta try to pull them off straight. There we go. Come on. Still kind of hitting this damn head. I gotta pull this exhaust manifold over. Hold on a second. The problems of keeping air conditioning. I don't care though. I will deal with it. Because screw not having air conditioning. Eh? It's so freaking close. I'd like to keep what's going on in it. Hello? Curse you, eBay exhaust manifold header thing pipe. All right. I think the only solution, I have to crawl underneath and pull the O2 sensor. All right. Bear with me, guys. Almost there. So friggin' close. There's literally nothing holding the thing in except for a loose friggin' exhaust manifold. I'm just gonna crawl underneath and try to unclip the sensor. Up. Whew. All right. Stand positioned a little nicer. Now I just gotta grab this stupid thing. I can feel the connector. There's literally just one zip tie holding the damn thing in. It's unplugged. Once I get that zip tie out, I think we'll be there. But I said that a lot of times before, so I really don't know anymore. Whew. Alrighty. Alrighty. I need a little light. I don't want to cut the freaking wire. We are snipped. Did I use two? Man, why do I use so many damn zip ties? Ugh. I got the main one off, might be enough. Oh, I think that might do it. Oh yeah, I think we're clear now. I think. All right, car coming back down. Back on the jack stand. I got that positioned a little better too. Now, all right. I pull this off, you see like a little freaking leprechaun or something like pop out. And I gotta scrape the box a little bit, but whatever. It's the damn AZ box that's in the way. I'm making a freaking hole in it. I'm like 90% sure I did not pull that freaking box when I put these heads on. And I definitely put them on in the car. There's no way I pulled the engine to swap them. I mean, I could try zipping the studs out. They're not gonna come out that easy though. I think I just have to angle it a certain way. I'm about to just friggin' say screw it, make a hole in the box. It's fiberglass, I could patch it easy enough. This is friggin' tight over here. Alright, well, it's kinda off. There's still a piston in there. How do I want to do this? I don't want to mess these friggin' heads up either, trying to like pry this thing off. You know what I mean? And kind of like rub the surface with the studs. That I'll fix. Because I want to respray that anyway. But it's killing me because I'm like, how the hell did I get these things on before? Because I know I put them on when it was inside the car. I'm about to just like punch a hole in that box and pull this head off, guys. Like, damn. The problem is the friggin' what the hell is it? damn it, how did I get this shit off? If I lift the other side up, I don't want to have to pull the freaking motor mounts though, honestly. I might just have to, let me try to just pull the studs out. I'm not too optimistic that this shit's gonna work because they've been in here for a freaking number of years. But if I could just pull the studs out, you know what I mean? It's not gonna have to clear the studs. I could just slip it off to the side, like if you just had regular head bolts. For your train. I mean, the top ones, I don't even know what size these are. They are 6 points. I'm at the point where it's like, it's right there. And it's just freaking aggravating me. It's like, why is it fighting me? When this way, why the hell won't it come out? What size are these stupid things? What size is this? It's not a 5. It's not a 5, it's not a 4, so it's got to be some freaking S80E size. I refuse to give up. We are right here. Okay, that's the sign. And then the bolt tightens against them. So hopefully, all I can do is as soon as I find my damn extension again. Yeah, let me try one of the bottom ones. Yep. They are not going to come out unless I do some weird like double nut kind of shit that I really don't have the patience for right now. So, I mean, it's not even like the AC box is something easy to get out. I might just freaking, I think I'm just going to pull it into the box. Literally all I have to do to fix the box, I have fiberglass sheeting, is literally just put a freaking little patch of fiberglass on it with the mat and just give it a light sand and just spray it with black spray paint. So I think I'm just gonna friggin' pull on it because we came this far, and I'll be damned if I'm not gonna get this off for you guys. I think with the right amount of gentle wheeling, I can get it to clear, because the front clear is no problem. So how much stud are we talking about? This manifold still doesn't really help in this situation either. Well, that's a victim of Dex Cool if I ever did see it. One of the guide pins for the head. What's holding? I think it's just this. It cleared the bottom ones. It's the friggin' that damn one over there. This is where I gotta be freaking careful with this. I do not want to screw this up. If I could turn it carefully. Come on. Ooh, there you are. There you are, you son of a bitch. Whew. All right. Head doesn't look bad. All the valves are in place. Our box took a minor hit. I can fit my finger in there now, but like I said, that thing's very thin, cheap fiberglass. Honestly, you don't even need to friggin' use, if you want it perfect, you could just fiberglass it over, but in reality, you could just put a piece of foil tape over it and it'll work just as well. But let me bring you guys in here now. Everything looks fine. This is a piece of a zip tie that made it in there. Yeah, I've patched these boxes before, not in this car, but in older like Caprices and stuff, where they just have like a big freaking hole in them. You can just get that foil like HVAC tape, and it sticks really well. It'll just go right over the hole, and you could just kind of put black paint over it or something. But I'm gonna probably fiberglass it while the engine's out. But I mean. Oh, I think it's a wrist pin, guys. I could kind of move this piston. I don't know if you can hear that. There's like the slightest kind of click in this piston right here. Let's get the head gasket off. This thing is like freaking. All right, I gotta move you guys again. Now the head gasket wants to fight me. Come on, dude. All right. Whew. Leave you guys there for now. You hear that click? Eh. It might just be play in the skirts. No, this one's, I mean, that's all the way down. Let me try to spin it. Because I know these motors have some, the earlier ones, some piston slap issues. So maybe because it's cold, it's just kind of wiggling, but it never made any noise, piston slap noise. I mean, it seems like both of those cylinders are doing that. So I'm going to try to rotate it and see if we can get like an audible clunk out of it. And I'll pull the trays and we'll take a look at the lifters quick. What size is this stupid thing? I think it's like a 15. 24. Yeah, that kind of works. This is our big ass ratchet. There goes more of the dowel pins. All right, let's see if we hear anything now. I don't have any gear, do I? It's definitely neutral. God damn, that thing was hard to turn. Take a look at that back cylinder. I mean, everything looks fine. I don't know, these pistons, yeah. Those two middle pistons have a lot of rock to them. I mean, we're not going to know until we get a look at the bottom end, but that's where it sounded like it was coming from. It was right towards the back there. Nothing from this one. Look at that. Look how much that moves. Could we broke a ring or something? Look at this. Can you guys see that? That is a shitload of movement. Look at that. I don't know what the hell happened. It's got to be something with the piston. That's the noise. So, I mean, I don't know if it busted a ringland or something, or broke a ring, or if it's just, it might just be the wrist pin. It's weird because both of these two, they both do the same thing. The back one and the front one are tight, but you could visually see this stupid thing rocking back and forth, even with just two fingers on it. I'm going to pull the lifter trays. Let's just take a look. Make sure nothing, no debris wiped anything else out, but looks like she's done for. But like I said, I don't know what the hell, why that shit went. That's what scares me. I hate to do this all again and have the same thing happen to the new motor. But I mean, the only thing I did differently was the two-step. Man, this place is a freaking mess. There is crap everywhere. There's sockets and bolts. Just looking for my, here we go. Yeah, this is what really sets apart, as far as being easy to work on, these motors from the LS Fortec motors from the old stuff, because you have to pull the heads to get to the lifters. And this motor still has like a good amount of sludge in it. I got it like, I think almost 6 years ago. And it had, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it had some sludge in it. I would have thought by now. If you can see that, it's just kind of like flaky crap. It was like that ever since I got it. It's been that way for years. And I've always used Mobil 1. I would have thought that that would have got cleaned out by now. But I guess not. I'm thinking of going to Royal Purple. I saw a video on YouTube about some guy he put it in his engine and he said it cleaned it out or something. I mean, I don't know. It's really not that expensive. It's not much more than Mobil 1. So I might change oil. Something is really screwed up with those pistons. I'm just glad the freaking cylinder walls look all right, considering what that's doing. I'm glad they didn't try to drive the damn thing back. All right. Our other tray, let's magnet these out. And these are LS7 lifters. Yeah, that looks fine. These are gonna have to get changed anyway with the new motor, so I don't really care if I mix them up. I'll try to move you guys and give you a peek at the cam in a second. Let me just slide these out. I'm glad the cam seems to be all right. That's $400. The cam costs more than the engine, basically. The long block with the 706 head that I had on cost me $300. The cam from Tick Performance cost me like $399. So just the fact that I can reuse the cam, that's a win in my book. Yeah. Everything looks fine. It's definitely, it's piston or it's bottom end for sure. If I can get you guys in here with this super tripod. I mean, everything is intact. You can see the lifters on the other side, right through that hole there. Cylinder walls look absolutely fine. She got a little rock in her. Just a little bit. I'd say I throw the head back on, a couple of quarts of Lucas oil stabilizer. She'll be good as new. Whew. All right, we made it. Not bad. What time is it? That's an hour back, so it's like it's 10, a little past 10. All right, so I say I got what I wanted to get done, accomplished here. I was expecting to pull both heads off, but I'm like, the noise was on that side. And whatever the hell's going on there, even if there's a problem here, this thing got to come out for sure. You can see the, all this stuff I could reuse. Lifters, oh, I just spun it. Lifters, obviously, I'm going to get new. Push rods, I should be able to reuse because I've had these milled down before I put them on this. So I'm just going to clean them up and keep them the way they are. And they're going to make their way back onto here. Unless I somehow get like super YouTube famous and somebody sends me some like really cool fast parts, these might get ported and put back on this block eventually. In the Trans Am, I'll reuse the rockers. Push rods should be fine because I'm not going to mill anything down. And yeah, let's get some new lifters for it. But I'm glad our 243 799 heads are in good shape. Or they're just going to make their way into the Tahoe. Who the hell knows? At least I can reuse them. All right, I'm trying to extend my tripod. Bear with me here. All right. I think that is going to do it. Let me look at some of the comments now here. Whoops. Tripod's not locked. All right. It's a long-ass video. 190 minutes almost. Yeah, 2 foot. They're actually 799 heads. So they're off a later 5.3. Is it a 5.3 or they may be in 6 liter? I know the combustion chambers are a little bigger, so I had to have them milled. Otherwise, I would have lost some compression. Matt, they're 799s, stock 799 slash 243. They're basically the same head. It's an LS2 head, basically. Yeah, the walls do. I'm going like back to the older comments here because I can only see like one comment at a time on the phone. Yeah, it has knock sensors. I'm definitely going to rebuild it. I'm not rebuilding it and putting it back in this car just because I already have an engine coming and I wanted to put something bigger in this for a long time. And I think this car is going to benefit from it more than the Trans Am is going to. Yeah, look at my little head hole over there. But yeah, the Trans Am is going to benefit from the 5.3, and this car is going to benefit from a bigger engine for sure. I'll get into the details once I actually start giving you Trans Am content. I don't want to start throwing words at you as far as the Trans Am goes without even making videos on the car in a while. So once we start getting the ball rolling with that project, that's when I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, this is exactly what's gonna happen, and you'll have something to look forward to instead of me just saying a bunch of things and then it changes in like 6 months. So lifters, I guess I'm probably not going to reuse them. I'm pretty sure I can't use them in my new motor. 7099 Trailblazer. Yeah, I know the 799s came on the like Performance 5.3s. I don't know if they came on the L33. I don't think it definitely wasn't an oil issue because the it has good oil pressure. When I was driving it up, literally I was on the two-step in the pits for a second and a half. I just got it up to boost at 2600 and then instantly just started making that knocking noise. I turned it off within like 3 seconds of hearing it, started it back up just to verify for another 2 seconds, turned it off, then just drove it up the trailer to the tuner. It was drove it up the trailer. It was running for maybe like 30 seconds. So under a minute, I would say, of runtime since it started making noise. Had no RPM, no nothing, no boost. So I think that's why I saved it. Once it was at tune time, we just rolled it off the trailer. I pulled the valve cover there. Didn't find anything. I didn't feel like putting the valve cover back on. It was kind of a pain. So I just had it towed here and rolled it in the garage. So it really didn't run at all. I think that's why it looks so good. Yeah, for anybody who just joined, LS6 427, I wish I was actually looking at just basic friggin' like used relatively high mileage LS3s, and they're like $6,000 still. So that's definitely not going to happen. Anybody, there's a fire dash as well. Been sitting. I'm really not familiar with the stock Durgen stuff, Mark. The only engines I ever had was the V6 multi-port injection, which freaking killed itself. So I pulled it and put this motor in, and the Trans Am carb stuff. I know nothing about tune port or throttle body injection, so I'm pretty terrible at trying to figure out why these cars won't run in stock form. Got a magnet, serial. Yeah, it's freaking weird. Collapsed piston skirt. Ring gap is too tight. You know about the ring gap? I thought about it. That is possible. Because when I put this in all those years ago, 5 whatever years ago it was, I knew I was going to eventually boost it, but it wasn't anytime soon. I didn't literally do it until at least like 4 years later. So I just figured the blower wasn't going to run that much, but after I did the pulley and everything, it was making like 15.5 pounds. So it's possible the ring closed up, but it's weird how the wall looks fine. We'll take it apart when it's out for sure, but the walls look perfect. That was freaking weird. But I mean, if that's the issue, I'm kind of hoping that's what happened, because the new motor, I'm just going to pull the rings, gap them, and throw them back in. I'm not going to even do a home or any of that. If the thing's running fine, I'd rather just throw right back in what it had, just gap them, put them back in, and let it go. But yeah, that would be great if that's what actually happened. Because if the ring closed up, I mean, it's bound to happen if you're running enough boost. Then I just know with gapping the new motor that's not going to happen, and I won't be like shitting my pants whenever I'm on the two-step thinking the thing is going to kill itself again. The Trans Am is carbureted. Yeah, go on Mark, go on thirdgen.org. That's where I learned about literally all I'll do. I won't even go on the site. I'll just go on Google and I'll type third gen, THIRDGEN, third gen, no crank or no spark, just like whatever your problem is, preceded by third gen, and then type that in Google, and then it'll come up instantly. Thirdgen.org will be the first site, and then it'll have all links to people who have threads on those problems. That's how I like Googled a lot of stuff when I was putting this car together. Didn't figure all, yeah, we didn't figure all the way out. There's definitely something weird going on with the piston. Anybody who just joined and you're curious what I'm talking about, this is what we found. We got quite a bit of rock from these two pistons here. Look at the movement in that thing. That's literally what it sounded like when it was running. So something funky's going on with the Craigslist 5.3. But we got something nicer on the way. This is what's going on in here now. I gotta like clean all this crap up. The funny thing is, I'm good with stuff like this. I could literally take everything apart. I don't need to like bag it. I can just throw it all in one pile and then throw it back together and know where the bolts go just by, process of elimination with the length and stuff. So I'm pretty good with that. It looks like crap, but I'm good at just throwing stuff in a pile and then getting it back together. But I'm definitely gonna do a little organizing first. What motor are you going with? All right, being you guys, there's only a few of you guys in this chat, in this live chat, and you've been with me for most of the time. So I'm just gonna tell you guys what I'm going with right now. I picked up, and well, I didn't pick it up yet. I have set up to get an LY6. And if anybody doesn't know, that is a Gen 4 LS Vortec motor. It's basically a 6-liter iron block, Gen 4, so it's got the better rods. I think it has better or a different wrist pins. The wrist pins are floating instead of pressed in. And best of all, it has LS3 heads on it. So right out of the box, I think in a truck, it makes like 385 horse and about 400 torque, I think. So with the heads, even just with the stock heads on it, it's got LS3 heads on it. I don't even need to port them or touch them. And there's square port, so opposed to these that are cathedral port. So I'm not going to need those freaking thick adapter plates anymore. I could just throw it right on. I'm going to get a little bit of hood clearance, so that's a good thing. And I actually thought about going with thermal spacer plates or whatever the hell they are. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. They're kind of like expensive, but yeah, I am going with an LY6, so it's going to be a 6.0. And the reason I went with that over another 5.3 or something, it was a little expensive, but I figured with the blower, you can only do so much with it before you have to get another blower. I mean, everybody knows with a turbo, you can make a lot more power for a lot cheaper with the turbo. With the blowers, you can only spin them so fast before you're out of blower. So I figured by going with the 6-liter, the LY6 with the better heads and everything, I'm going to get a blower cam in it. It's going to make a lot more power. It's going to, best of all, it's going to make more power with less boost because it's going to breathe a lot better. So the 5.3 is going to be better off in the Trans Am because that is what's going to be seeing a turbo eventually. So that's kind of my plan. That's why I want to go with 4 cubes for this car, being I don't plan on getting rid of the blower anytime soon. And it's going to benefit from the bigger engine, where with the Trans Am, that's going to get the 5.3 because that's going to be getting a turbo, and I can just, get a bigger turbo, turn up the boost, and make more power easier with a smaller engine, and I don't need, a 6-liter or something. Yeah, Bob, with the heads, while they're off, I might have them ported. I'm going to see how much it's going to cost and just have like a CNC job done somewhere, and then I'll just throw them on the way they are, because I have to pull them anyway to do the head gaskets and the head studs and stuff. So, I mean, after going through this while they're off, I might as well just do it. 62. I'm not familiar with 862 heads. The only ones I know about are the 706s that I had on this thing that are apparently prone to cracking, which I didn't run into that problem. The 243s slash 799. 799 is a truck head. 243s are an LS2 head. They're basically the same thing. Those flow really good. And just recently, the LS3 head, the 823, I think it is. Those are really the only heads I'm like super familiar with. Yeah, those 6 liters, they're freaking expensive, man. Everybody wants gold for them. Like, I'm looking on, what the hell is it? eBay. I'm looking on eBay just to see stuff that's not too far. I'll drive a few hundred miles to get something if it's a good deal. And they got motors on there for like 15 to 830K on them. Where these 5.3s usually could get them like a Gen 3, you get them for like $800 or so with like way less miles. Damn, yeah, I know. Even the 5.3s seem to be going up. Like I said, I got this over Craigslist. That's probably why it was so cheap. But lately, man, you see this, like you read these articles with Hot Rod, and they're doing these builds for like super cheap. I mean, if you go to like a junkyard, like a Harry's, you pull it or something, yeah, you could go and pull one out, and assuming they didn't already pull the good stuff. Usually, if like an LS1 Camaro comes in, you could bet there's not going to be an engine in that thing. They're going to pull it, bring it over to their salvage section, sell it separately. Then they're going to throw the body of the car in there. They pull the good shit before they throw it in. But as far as these are concerned, Gen 3 stuff, especially Express Fan, Silverados, you can easily get these for a few $100. You got to pull them yourself. But as far as around here, there's nothing over here. The Harry's, the good Harry's, that's the huge one. That is like close to 3 hours away. And I didn't see driving out there hoping I find something good, having to pull it, driving 3 hours back. It wasn't worth it to me. Bob, LY6, I ended up getting mine from a place in Woodbridge. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. It's actually a bus motor. It's got 110K on it. It's in a GMC Savannah bus they pulled it out of. I got a video of it running. And I figured they actually have like 6 of them. So they have a good amount over there. Apparently the bus company gives them these trucks and they part them out or whatever, these buses. And he had one with 110, one with 104, one with 136, and then one with like 190 or something. But I got a pretty good deal on it. I'll tell you guys the details of the pricing and how I kind of worked it once I actually get it here. But the good thing about being a bus motor, you figure it's a school bus. So friggin' Otto from The Simpsons was driving the thing or something. It probably had a pretty easy life. And the other thing is, being it is a bus company, I would hope that their fleet maintenance is like, if it's anything like where I work, everything's PM like spot on when it needs to be done. So the oil inside the engine should be immaculate, assuming that it's a good company. I don't know what kind of bus company it was, but I'm going off of those 2 things and hoping it's going to be a solid motor. If 4.8s, I was thinking about a 4.8, but just because I already had a 5.3, I didn't really want to go to a smaller engine. And it comes back to just having the blower and trying to make as much power as I can with the LSA. I didn't want to go to something smaller. I would have did a 6.2, but man, they were way too much money. There's still, even like a truck 6.2 is at least like $4,000. Alex, yeah, that's a good deal. 300 bucks, 160K. It's funny. It's like I try when I'm thinking about doing this stuff, I'll be like, I'm like, whatever, you'll just get an engine with 200K on it. And once I find myself actually looking at them, I'm like, that's a lot of miles, mostly because the price. If I could find something 200K for like 500 bucks or less, I totally do it. But these wreckers and places, they want like 1,500 to 2,000 or something with like 180K on it. It's like ridiculous. So that's why I'm like, at that point, spends $200-300 more, you get something with like 50,000 or more or less miles on it. But I wish if I was like in the kind of like the Midwest or whatever, where there's more like pull it places where you could just go there. Everything's dirt cheap. You can just pull yourself. I would totally be there, just pulling my own motors. I wouldn't care. It's just around New York. There's like nothing. Everything's in Pennsylvania. Got to keep coming over here to read your guys' comments. Friends good modes are parts. Always ask my friend that works in a bargain. You know, Jay. Wheel drive pickup from Sacramento, 3-hour drive from me, but a couple grand might be worth it. Yeah, I was considering going out farther because if you look on a good website is carpart.com. So I don't have a pen here. I have a marker somewhere. Where's the marker? For anybody who doesn't know this, car-part.com. Go there. They're going to have an inventory. You put in your zip code, you put, if you're looking around for like an LY6, put in like a 2008 Savannah 3500 6-liter, and it'll have the engine code. You can select LY6. And if you put your zip code, sort by distance, it's going to come up with all salvage yards and their inventory with prices, the mileage, their phone numbers, how far they are from you. And that's how I track down my engines or any like parts that I need from a junkyard. I don't just like go to a junkyard and look around just because there aren't any by me. That is the easiest way to me to get something good because it's pretty thorough. I'm not sure how it works as far as which places actually get on the site. If it's they gotta sign up or they gotta if it's just everybody automatically on it, they don't do the same inventory. But a lot of places come up by using that site, and right away you could just call them right up and say, you still got the motor, or they might actually have other stuff that isn't even on there that just came in. So that's definitely a great site to use if you're looking for used engine, transmission, or really any kind of auto part. You save a lot of time instead of just like scrambling around, walking through places yourself. Swapping the 453 to the Trans Am, yes. The plan for now, unless the engine is super screwed on the other side or the lower cylinder walls or something, the plan is to put the 5 in the Trans Am eventually. I say eventually because it has a 350 now and it's working fine. So I want to kind of experiment with that for all the third gen guys who still have the stock motor in it to see what we can make with it before we put the 5.3. Plus, I want to see if I can maybe get some sponsors. If I can't get a sponsor for rotating assembly or something, I'm probably going to do like a Gen 4 rotating assembly, Gen 4 rods, pistons, and I'll bring it to a machine shop, have them do, hone it and measure everything right and put it together that way, then put it in the Trans Am. I mean, it all depends once I crack it open exactly how bad the damage is. Oh yeah, Gerald, Facebook Marketplace. That is a very, very good place to go if you're looking for parts too. That's where I bought the Trans Am, Facebook. I don't even anybody who follows me on Facebook, I don't use it ever. Like literally, the only reason I made the account was to use Facebook Marketplace. So sometimes I'll get messages. I never ever log into it. So if you really want to get in contact with me, definitely leave a comment or use Instagram because I never look at Facebook. The only time I might actually even glance at something is if I'm in the marketplace. But that is a really good place to find parts. There's a lot more stuff on there than freaking Craigslist. Third Gen Meat in Chicago. Yeah, I've been trying to go to the meet in Kentucky, CamaroCon. Is it CamaroCon? Yeah, CamaroCon, but I have yet to make it down. I've been trying to go for like the past 4 or 5 years, and every time it comes around, I'm like, do I want to make the drive? But now that I have the Tahoe, I might just go for it. I really got to get the laptop for next time, so I don't have to awkwardly stand behind the camera and read comments. English Town. Yeah, Ryan, swap meets. I've gone to them a few times. I haven't been there recently. Like I'd say I didn't go to one like the past 3 years. Another thing, it kind of just creeps up on me. I always forget about it, and then I literally hear about it a week before, and then I already had plans, and I can never make it. But I'm gonna probably go to the one in the spring, especially since I'm kind of planning. It depends how far I get with the Trans Am as far as working the stock motor. If I didn't actually dig into the performance stuff by the time spring comes, I'm still working on the cosmetic stuff. I'll probably go and look for some cheap Gen 1 kind of go fast parts. Good clutch with 500 horsepower. Honestly, the only one, I guess you can get away. 500, you'll probably be good with a stock LS7 clutch. Yeah, you could go with an LS7 clutch because the Z06, the C6 Z06s, they make like 505. Granted, they're pretty light, but no, you'd be fine with an LS7 clutch. Actually, the clutch that's in this, the Monster, I can't say anything more than like great about it. I mean, the thing is absolutely amazing. I had the twin McLeod in here, not the RXT, the good one. I had the RST because it was rated for 800 horsepower. I figured, oh yeah, I'll be fine. I take it to the track. I beat on it once, try to hot lap it. The thing was freaking done. It wasn't having it. The Monster though, it's been freaking amazing. I took it to the track. I hot lapped it when I there recently. I think I went to 2 or 3 track days with it, and it has been 100%. You could just beat on it. It drives absolutely stock. It's an organic clutch. I think it's a carbon organic. I think the same material that the LS7 clutches are made of, but you got 3 discs. So it drives like stock, but it freaking holds the power and it could take a beating. But if you're just looking for something for 500, definitely go with an LS7 clutch. Alien fitting numbers. I don't have the number. Well, if you want the size, I'm using -6 for everything. I don't have part numbers because I use so many different freaking fittings. But if you're looking for stuff, I would just look for -6 ANT -6 -6 hose end. You'll get the little ends that actually cramp onto the hose. But I have everything's -6. That's equivalent to a 3/8, which is the factory line size. Yeah, Boomer Monster. That clutch is insane. It was expensive. It kind of hurt me when I ordered it because I was going to go with the LT. I think it's the LT1 or the LTS. I get the numbers mixed up. But I was talking to the guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, you'll be good. I think it's rated for like 775 at the wheels." The thing is, Monster rates their clutches for at the wheels. Apparently, McLeod rates it for crank horse. My plan, I'm like, I'm probably gonna make around that soon, and I'm gonna beat on it. I don't know where I'm going from there. And I mean, I think it was like 900 or $1,000 for the twin disc, and then it was an extra 2 or 3 for the triple. So actually, I think it was a freaking lot more. I think it was like 600 or something for the triple. I'm not 100% on the price. It was a lot of money, but so far I don't regret it. It's been freaking amazing. What's going on here? Man, this sucks trying to read comments with this phone. Yeah, Derek, definitely check into them. Boomer, I'll come over here. I'll give you guys one more shot of this. Something is going on with the pistons. Take a look. This one and this one have a lot of wobble to them. So right now we're thinking the boost, being when I put this in years and years ago, I didn't gap the rings. I wasn't really expecting boost right away. So maybe a ring closed up and messed up the piston. The walls looks fine though. I'm not going to pull it apart. It might be a wrist pin. We really don't know. But there is a lot of play in those two middle cylinders. And that is the exact noise it sounds like if they're taking the healthy Camaro to road race. I really wanted to road race this thing, but from what I hear, it beats the shit out of the car. LS piston rock, that's what I thought, but just hitting it with my thumb, it makes that much noise. Imagine with the thing running. Wonder, yeah, it might be a spun main. Both of those two middle cylinders on that side are doing it. I don't know. I have the other head on still. I didn't check to see if that one does it. You have a lowering spring? If so, do you scrape a lot? Yeah, I have the front currently. They're kind of mismatched. The front are on Ibach Pro springs, and then I have the back on the ground control weight jacks that are adjustable because I wanted to level it out. But I'm probably going to get a set of weight jacks for the front just so they match. And then I'm going to take, because I still have the Pro Kit rear springs from this car, I'm probably going to take those springs that I have sitting in the shed and front Pro springs in here, put those in the Trans Am. And then I'll just get a pair of weight jacks from this. So, both cars are going to have the same suspension. Cool thing though, I'm actually working with Coney Shocks. They are providing some stuff for the Trans Am. So we're going to get some suspension work done to the Trans Am. It's going to get one hell of a pair of shocks in it. Same shocks that are in this car. So, like I said, I'll reveal the whole idea for that project soon enough. I was on the two-step at around 14 pounds when it started just clanking like crazy. But I mean, people, you're on two-step, you're trying to make boost, getting off the line. People do it all the time. That's why I think the reason that it screwed me over, I think the ring closed up under boost, and that's what caused the problem, but who knows till we get it apart. So we're dropping the pin, checking to make sure it's inject. Yeah, Boomer, I don't know if you came in late. The engine's coming out. I'm putting a 6-liter in it. Not because I don't want to fix it or I think it's screwed or whatever, just because I want a motor for the Trans Am. And I also I've been wanting to put a 6-liter in this thing for a while. And honestly, this is just the excuse for me to do it. But I'm keeping this motor. I'm definitely going to pull it apart. We're going to pull the crank out, take a look at everything, just for sure see what happened to it. And then it's probably going to sit in the corner until the Trans Am is ready for it, and then I'll have it fixed. Yeah, Adam, I'm going with an LY6 out of an 08 GMC Savannah. So that is it's a Gen 4 square port heads, LS3 heads. So I get to ditch these babies because I'm not going to need to go from a cathedral to a square port because everything's going to be square already. And that is a good amount of hood clearance right there, because you guys know that blower is very close to the hood. So actually now I'm going to get that off. The only thing I'm not sure of, I don't know if this is acting not only as an adapter, but maybe like a spacer plate for heat, because they make something very similar to this, minus the adapter, that you would use. What horn is that? I think that's my car. Anyway, yeah, they make plates pretty much identical like that to try to keep the heat off of the head. So I'm hoping that's not going to make a difference, being I'm not going with that now. So that'll be compatible with the blower. Oh yeah, the new motor, the blower is just going to bolt right on because it's an exact LS3 head. And the head's going to flow a lot better too, even in stock form, opposed to the 799s I had on it. Alex, I know I've had tint on it years ago. Let me come back over here because I'm freaking I'm just talking to the wall. I had tints on it years and years ago. The back window was like super expensive just because of the shade. They charged me, I think, like $180 just for the back window. And I took them off because I got pulled over like 3 or 4 times. I never got a ticket for it. Just because one of the times I got pulled over, they're like, why do you have tints on your windows? I'm like, these cars are kind of easy to break into because you see how they don't have, there's no door frame around it, just the window, so you can kind of pull the window. So I'm like, they're kind of easy to break into. I figured that'll kind of deter thieves. And he was like, okay, whatever, that makes sense. I didn't get a ticket. One time I got pulled over. I showed him my license. He saw I had a CDL. He didn't do anything about it. He didn't care. Another time I got pulled over, the guy just liked the car, so he didn't give me a ticket. But I kept getting pulled over so many times, I didn't want to risk it. So I just pulled him off. And now it's actually illegal. New York checks the windows when you get a state inspection. They'll put a thing on there and actually check them. So if you're going in for a state inspection, they're putting a filter on the window. If it's below like 75%, you fail inspection basically. Unless there's a way around stuff, but between that and the tickets, I just didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, I'm just going to stand behind the camera because when I go over there, I don't have a mic. You guys can't really hear me that well. Thermostat, I have, say, upgraded. I think it's like a Lingenfelter thermostat. All right, guys, I'm going to get going because this place is a mess. I'm actually off tomorrow for election day, so I'm probably going to clean up in here a little bit. I'm picking up the engine, so I'm hoping to shoot a video tomorrow after this is cleaned up, and maybe driving to pick it up. And once I have it in there, you guys will see the new Y6, and I'll give a little tour of it as far as what it comes. I'm not sure what it's going to come with, if it comes with accessories or not, so it's going to be fun to check it out. But that's going to be for tomorrow. I'm pretty happy with where I got. Still no definite answer on what the hell happened. I'm just glad the cylinder walls look fine. So if it needs a rotating assembly, what are you going to do? At least we got a nice 6.0 on the way. But for now, yeah, this was fun. I'm definitely got to do more of these when my schedule allows it and actually get days off, because otherwise I'll be at work right now. And if I do this before I go to work, everybody else is going to be at work, and it's kind of pointless. Good luck, best wishes. Thanks, Grunge. Thanks, Bob. See you later, Alex. See you, Casa. All right, guys. How should I close this out? Another hour and a half of me cleaning? No, I'm not cleaning this up. I'm going home. I really got to pee. I drink the whole coffee, and I don't have a bathroom here. So I'm going to go home and see the toilet. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.